It's Friday! Happy Friday! I am Camille, your intuitive business consultant, and I'm so excited to talk today about when the pressure of business feels like it's just too much. And I'm going to give you 2 tips in how to handle that kind of pressure bubble that inevitably arises in business. When you're starting to feel, now this is totally and completely normal. Not only do I experience this pressure bubble, every single client that I've ever supported talks about this pressure bubble. Like when business starts to feel too much, more than you can handle. You're at a space of maybe it's growth, or maybe it's a dip in revenue, whatever is coming up for you where you're like, this is too much, this is a lot of pressure, I'm feeling overwhelmed. I want to give you some tools to manage that. And these are tools, hello Charlene, welcome. And these are tools that I use today, and these are tools that I support my clients with. And the most important thing to know is that there is nothing inherently wrong with you when you reach a point of a pressure bubble building and it feels like everything you built is just too much for you to handle and you'd rather just throw that out and start from scratch. Here's your sign not to do that. Don't throw that out. Don't start from scratch. Instead, implement these 2 things. 1, I get really grounded in what's going on in my business. When the overwhelm and the pressure starts to feel like too much, it's usually a great indicator that I am disconnected from the inner workings of my business and it feels like chaos. This is true even in dips, and when we're in a dip in business, what we'll think is, well, that's what's causing this pressure, that's what's causing this chaos, and if I would just make some money, then I wouldn't feel this pressure and chaos. And that's not true, because this pressure and chaos also comes about when you're expanding or you're increasing visibility. The pressure is part of business and it's okay to have it. So next time you feel that, no matter what you think the problem is, whether you think it's a dip in income or it's too much responsibility or too many moving pieces, this is what you're going to do. First, you're going to physically ground into your business, like get very clear of all the moving pieces. And this is something I did just recently. Is I pulled out my whiteboard. Here we go. It says Camille Enterprises, and I got really clear on all of the moving pieces. So when I was thinking, well, what exactly is generating income? What exactly is generating visibility? What exactly is generating momentum, right? I had to get really clear instead of like, am I doing all the things? Where is it all at? So I wrote down exactly what I've got going on. My podcast, I have multiple systems and strategies in place here that are running on automation. And this is another little peek behind the scenes, is once you have certain things on automate and you have maybe a team like I do, you can start to forget like all of the things that are in place and you become disconnected. So you really want to get back in connection. And so that's why I wrote down all of the systems and strategies that are in place, that are happening, that maybe I don't have my hands on 24/7. And one of those is my podcast stream, which is me being featured on podcasts. That's one of the strategies that I'm implementing this year. And so I'll be featured on 30 plus podcasts this year. And so just that strategy alone has a ton of moving pieces, right? Like emails coming in, bookings, and that sort of thing. So the fact that I put it here helped it really ground in. And then I have my summit, which you guys may be seeing. I put the Intuition of Business Growth Summit is coming up. So I put that down on my board. Okay, so those are my audience building and visibility. So having those down where I can see it, audience building and visibility is covered through the podcast and the summit strategies. And then I go, what is my lead generation and sales? I come over here and I do Spring Your Business into Success workshop, which is at the end of the month. And then I also have my daily social media, both written and video. So I'm doing a video right here. And that is what grounded me into, oh yeah, I have all of this already organized. And before it was on my board, it was just like, what's happening? It was all in my head and I didn't have any more space for any more information. And I wasn't keeping up with what was when. And so I grounded in, right? Grounded in, okay, what are my systems in place here? Grounded with the systems. And now the next piece that you're going to do, that's kind of an interesting dynamic, because with this grounded piece of writing down all that you've got going on a board, right? Like, what are your strategies? Keeps you connected to what's happening. And then the next piece is the energetic piece, which is actually releasing attachment. Okay, so you're simultaneously staying connected to what's happening in the business, but then you're also going to release attachment of your identity being connected to the results of the business. Okay, so hear me out on this. I've got all these things in place. I know where I need to be, when I need to show up, and what I'm offering in that moment. Now, beyond that, I'm going to be totally and completely present in my humanness. And Megan Camille is Megan Camille. My worthiness, my identity, my purpose is not wrapped up in the results that my business is making. Because that pressure and that overwhelm we feel is the expectation that we put on our humanness, on our human self, on our personhood, to make the business then make us feel important or make us feel safe or calm. And that can only be generated from within. So while we want to stay grounded and connected to the business, clear about what's happening, we also want to be individuated from it. We want to be whole with or without it, that I am valuable, worthy, and lovable, even when my business isn't creating the results I expected, or even when I'm in a restructure, or even when I'm scaling so fast I feel like the wind is caught in my cheeks, right? That my personhood is still an individuation from the business. And that just relieves so much pressure that, oh yeah, the business results don't mean anything about me as a person. I am still quality, I'm still valuable, I'm still worthy, no matter what the business results say. And when we get caught in that pressure bubble, our identity and the business that we're running can get enmeshed, right? That one is the other. And that really creates that pressure and that overwhelm. And so this is your invitation to, one, get grounded. This is like a lifesaver. I have one here, I have one over there. Like, I love whiteboards. So this is your invitation to get yourself a damn whiteboard and write down what systems and strategies you have in place. Again, because when you start feeling that pressure bubble get strong, you may think, I need to do more. And then when you can put down on your board what the heck you've got going on, it is not more that needs to be done, right? It's just grounding in, getting a little bit of organization, and then remembering your inherent value, your inherent worth, your inherent belonging because of who you are as a person, not the results of your business. And that puts me right back in to loving being a business owner, is when I'm no longer identifying with the results. So if this was helpful, put it below. Oh, thank you so much, Diana. Love you. I love you. Hello, Dee. Good to see you all. If this supported you, I encourage you to give it a share or at least put in the comments what stood out for you. Okay, bye for now.